Mic check one, mic check two. Hey, welcome, welcome. If you're watching this live stream back on replay, take advantage of the chapters and skip ahead to the start of the show. I'm still setting up and giving people time to tune in. Ooh, I'm almost on time tonight, guys. Doggone chat and OBS was acting up, but we here. We are here. I'm ready to go. I'm glad it's going to be a short week in the market. We only got 4 days this week. Market is closed on Friday. So I like this because they tend to have less time to play games and hide what their true intentions is throughout the week in a weekly candle because they only have 4 days to do it. They don't have a full 5 days to try to fake you out. They don't have a full 5 days. And this week already opened up kind of wonky. Already opened up kind of wonky. Cleaning my glasses, guys. That's what's going on. But I'm here. Let me take this off. Look at this. I'm about to poke my eye out trying to put my glasses on. Let's put this up here while I'm finishing setting up. Put this away. The glasses are clean. Had an awesome weekly recap live yesterday. If you hadn't checked that out, please do. Had some questions come in. Had a great conversation. And it was like a 2-hour stream. We covered a lot of different stuff that we expect or think is going to happen this week. And things that happened last week and all that other good stuff. So let me see what we got going on here. Let's make sure these chats are set up and ready to go. So we go here, here. It's okay, that worked. So close that out. It looks like select live sources. That's good. So we're live on YouTube. I think we're good on Facebook. And we're good on X. Okay, cool. We're good. We are good. We are good. It says you have an existing session. I'm already signed in. I should be. Man, it's hot. File, exit, clear. Yeah, leave I'm good. If I'm not, so be it. We can go ahead and get started, guys. It is after 11, so let's go ahead and get this show rolling. Get this back here, here. That's there. All right, go to the beginning of the script. Delete this. Chat. Restream channels. Streaming. Okay, yeah, we're good. I'm gonna just leave that open so if somebody comment, we can see that. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. I greatly would appreciate it. I'm looking for where my script is at. There we go. All right. Let's go. Welcome to Market Recap Live. I'm your host, Joseph Martin, and thank God. Oh, thank God. It is Monday. And tonight we are taking a look at ticker PAYX. You might know them better as Paychex. Paychex Incorporated was founded in 1971 by B. Thomas Galiciano. I knew I was going to mess this name up. Galiciano, B. Thomas Galiciano, with the first office opening in Rochester, New York. Now they're publicly traded on the NASDAQ and have a market value over $30 billion. Yes, that's B, billion dollars. Paychex is in the professional services industry in the industrials sector, and they are listed in the S&P 500 index. Some of Paychex competitors are Automatic Data Processing Incorporated, ticker ADP, Paycom Software Incorporated, ticker PAYC, and Paylocity Holding Corporation, ticker PCTY. We're going to review Paychex earnings, their website, and pull up the charts to perform a quick technical analysis. But before we do that, let's do our roll call and check our stream poll. We are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Let's get this chat going and tell us where you're tuning in from. Put a Y in the chat if you're tuning in from YouTube, F for Facebook, and X for X. While you guys are filling up the stream and the chat, here's the mission statement. We are building a community over here for people who want to take control of their financial situation by learning how to unlock the wealth building power of the stock market. And we are streaming Monday through Friday following trading sessions at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. The U.S. stock market regular trading hours are 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And there's a link for the New York Stock Exchange calendar down in the description. Okay, let's get to it. Let's get to these earnings. Bam. All right, let me get their ticker up. There we go. There we go. Oh, I love it when this stuff works smoothly. All right, here we go. Paychex, ticker symbol PAYX, the $35.5 billion company, reported its fourth quarter earnings on Wednesday, June 24th. They have a 52-week high of $148.76, which took place on July 1st, and a 52-week low of $85.45 that occurred on April 10th, which is a trading range of $63.61. And they closed today at $99.81. Paychex met market expectations on the top line, reporting revenue of $1.6 billion, but they missed on the bottom line as higher integrated operating expenditures and payroll processing costs squeezed bottom line operational performance. EPS was lower than the analyst and market expectations of $1.33 when they reported an adjusted EPS of $1.32. Paychex reported a GAAP net income of $420.6 million, which is higher than the $297.2 million net income they reported this same quarter last year. This represents an increase of 41.5%. So for the fourth fiscal quarter of 2025, their net profit was approximately 29.3% lower than it is compared to now a year later. The earnings were released before the market opened, followed by a 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time conference call. As far as guidance, management expects total revenue growth to land in the range of 5 to 6% for fiscal year 2027. That 52-week low compared to today's closing of $99.81 represents an increase of 16.81% over a span of approximately 3 months. So if someone invested $1,000 in April at that 52-week low of $85.45, they would be seeing a gain of $168.10. Okay, we did that. Let's go ahead and move on. Let's put that there, take that down, and we are good. Let's talk about why we visit these company websites. We're looking at the visuals and text to find answers to these key questions. Not three, but key. These key questions. What goods and or services does the company sell? How important are those goods and services to their customers? What makes this company stand out from the competition? And how well do they take care of their employees? We look for those answers in 4 main areas: the homepage for goods and or services, about us for purpose, vision, and mission statements, careers for employee benefits and opportunities, and investor relations for SEC filings and stock quotes. And for your convenience, all companies featured in tonight's live stream are down in the description. Now let's go visit Paychex website. Let's go ahead and check it out. Here we go. Bam. Put them up. There we go. All right. So we're on the home page of Paychex right here. They have the About Us. So we're going to go there. There's everything we need, guys. About Paychex, careers, and investor relations. So what we're going to do, we're going to browse, and they got employee benefits right here at the top. Now, because they're a human resource company, I need to make sure that's not something they selling, and that's actually the employee benefits dealing with their in particular employees. Okay, we got to be careful of that. But let's go ahead and scroll over this homepage and see what they have going on. Confidently manage HR, payroll, and benefits. Request pricing, view packages. Got it. Spend less time on payroll and HR and more time on your business. Okay. One platform for human resources. They got that doggone HR there. One platform for human resources and payroll. Support to help you scale. Look at these stats. Look at these stats. Solutions for your business size. That looks like the dashboard. So there's a video that you can play to look at that. Stop wasting time on human resources or HR and payroll. Request pricing. Talking about that again. Hear from some of our customers. How many employees do you have? So there's a little quiz they give you or their customers. Here are some things they've been recognized for. And here we are at the bottom of the website page. Let me see what they have down here. They have another. Yeah, our services, employee benefits, careers. I'm thinking the benefits dealing with Paychex specifically, their employees is going to be under careers. I think this services right here is dealing with what they offer. That's something we're not worried about that. So we got about us, careers, and investor relations. So let's go here and start with about us. Let's go. All right. About Paychex. Paychex Incorporated is the digitally driven HR leader that is reimagining how companies address the needs of today's workforce with the most comprehensive, flexible, and innovative HCM solutions for organizations of all sizes. And they give some more stats about the company and a fact sheet. Here's a video. We're here to helping businesses succeed, how our solutions work, learn more about Paychex. Okay, looks like we're going to be headed to careers really soon. It doesn't look like I see anything else on here really. All right, the strength of Paychex subsidiaries. So these are other these are other names that they go by or other services that they offer. Advanced Partners, ePlan Services, ExpenseWire, Flock, My Staffing Pro, Sure Payroll, Icon Time. Got it. All right, let's go ahead and go to careers. We're not going to take all day. We got a lot of stuff to cover tonight. So here we go. Let's zoom in. There we go. Welcome to Paychex Careers. Guys, we want to know about the culture and the benefits. That's what we're pretty much looking for. So let's scroll over this page because immediately I don't see anything about benefits. Not at the top of something we can select either. What's going on here? Something's missing. Oh, OBS is not on top. There we go. Chat. Pull that up. Okay. All right. So we scrolling. Where would you like to work? Learn more about our team. So they got sales, customer service, and technology. Those are 3 departments that people can apply for jobs for. The right way, living our values. Nearly 10% of our employees representing every Paychex location around the world serve as volunteer culture champions. Living the Paychex values by example and keeping them top of mind for their coworkers. Got it. We'll be reading all day with that. We're dedicated to supporting learning and growth. Here are some more stats about the company. We include everyone, always have. So they talk about their culture there. We're led by real people, doers themselves, with many starting at entry levels. Some of the best benefits and total rewards in the field. Here we go. Benefits and rewards and things they've been recognized for. We're going to go back and click on that, guys. Security alert, fake job postings. Guys, that's crazy. We know scams is crazy. Identity theft and all that. But you scamming people with jobs, it got to be bad because I'm seeing this on multiple websites when we go check these websites out. How you faking somebody out with a job? You scamming jobs. Oh, man. Explore benefits and I moved too fast. I was talking about something and just clicked on it and you couldn't see it. Give me a second. Take me off the screen so you can see it. Right here where it says explore benefits and rewards. That's where I clicked. All right. So career areas, culture, total rewards. Where are the benefits? Some of the best benefits and total rewards in the field. So I've heard. That's what you said. Where are they, though? We really mean comprehensive. Okay, here they go, guys. So here's the healthcare health care protection. I was about to say perfection. I don't even, whoa, what am I saying? Financial benefits, well-being, income protections, group term life insurance, time off, voluntary programs, personal and professional development. Got it. Now, remember, links to these websites are down in the description for your convenience if you want to take your time and go through this a little bit deeper. Just browsing over it together to kind of have a head start on knowing how to navigate and find where this stuff is on these websites, okay? Culture Day, education, intuition, support, safety, and economics. And you can even browse through more stuff over here, okay? All right, so we're almost down at the bottom. Much respect. Come on in, join our team. All right, so let's go to investors relations. This is a separate website, so we can close that out. Investor relations right here. So let's go. And of course, they open that up in a separate window. So let me bring that over and get it set up. Bam, bam, zoom in. No, we already good. All right, some more stats about the company, total revenue. Here goes some cookie crap. Do they have me on the screen? This is the wrong window. All right, I'm good. Here we go. All right, so company info, stock data is right here at the top. Let's browse over this page and see what they're showing. Investor relations, latest news, latest presentation, recent event, latest quarterly financial results, fiscal year ended. So this is what we had talked about at the beginning of the live stream, guys. Here's the detailed stock information about Paychex. So we read that earlier, management solutions, corporate responsibility, Paychex growth year over year. That looked good. That looks good. Just keep going up consistently. Things they've been recognized for. Okay. All right. So let's go to stock data. Here are the other things that they offer as far as investing tools. Looks like they pay a dividend and they have historical data here. So let's go ahead and go to the quote, the stock quote. Another cookie thing. So here are the charts they have available on their website. Here's the detailed information, like the stock quote information. Okay, and then they have other things up here you can go to. They have a separate page for charts. That's silly. It's right there on the first page too. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on and talk about what I found in my research about the company. So here we go. Let's talk about it. Company research. So what I looked up, I wanted to know if Paychex had any customers that are inside the S&P 500 index. So Paychex does have customers and partners that are listed in the S&P 500. Some notable names include Fastenal Company, ticker FAST, Robert Half, like half, Incorporated, ticker RHI, and Cintas Corporation, ticker CTAS. All right. Now let's talk about the mobile limitations. Before we look at the charts, remember, professionals trade from a computer, not a mobile device. Mobile trading apps are limited and don't have all the features that are available on full trading platforms. Now let's look at Paychex on the charts. Let's go to the charts. Let's get the right ticker up. There we go. Take that off and put their ticker back up. This is not what we're looking at. Paychex, PAYX. I got it. All right. So guys, we have Paychex pulled up on the charts and this layout looks kind of funny. So let me take me off the screen and let's fix this. This is way too wide. This is way too wide. So we're going to bring this down. Bring that down and then bring this down where that sits right over that. That was way too high. So that should be good. All right. So we are looking at a 1 year daily chart. Information is right here. 1 year daily chart. All right. So here's the 52-week high of $148.76. Here's the 52-week low of $85.45. And it looks like they have been consolidating for about three or 4 months. And they're starting to break out of that consolidation. They peaked out of the top here briefly. And right here is the 200-day simple moving average, that dashed white line. Okay, so we're going to come back to this 1 year daily chart. Let's go ahead and go over to the 10-year weekly chart. So looking at the 10-year weekly chart, Paychex has a 10-year low of $47.87. They have a 10-year high of $161.24. And that was in 2025. So let me zoom in so you can see that year down here is kind of covered up. Paychex, one of the best companies to work for out of Rochester, Buffalo, New York. I see you tuned in again, man. I appreciate you. About to pull your comment up on the screen. Let me find a button for that. There we go. And here we are. Thank you for the comment. I'll read it while it's on the screen. Paychex, one of the best companies to work for out of Rochester, Buffalo, New York. Thank you for tuning in again. This is who was chatting with me on the weekly recap live yesterday. We had a really good conversation. I'm glad to see that they're back tuned in. Hope you had an awesome day in the market as well. So here we go. We are still looking at this is the 10-year. So looking at the 10-year, we can see 2025 is when they had that 10-year high. And guys, they just sold off. Just sold off. Bam. Looks like they found a floor around $86.89. And I said around, that's not the actual low right there, but around. So we're looking at that as a support zone on the weekly chart. So if we were to zoom in and do that as a zone, actually want to zoom out and see what the price action over the 10 years is around. Yeah. So we can see it was resistance over here, a little support here. So that's a significant price level for Paychex on a 10-year weekly chart. So that's where they found support at. And those price levels were back in 2020, 2019. Yeah, to be able to find that support. Okay. Put me back on the screen. So as far as resistance on the weekly chart, we can put a price level right there. It looks like that is a level they found supported at. So let's go ahead and pull up that tool from the weekly chart. Bam. So we can see, let me zoom in a little bit. I'll just highlight it real quick so we can move fast. Right here, it held as resistance, it held as support, and here it held as support. So it responds to that price level of 105.66 as well. Got another comment. I'm gonna pull it up in a second. So that's why I'm picking that price level. And then right here, it looks like it pulled back on its way down. So I'm gonna put a price level there and see if we can get anything else lined up on that as well. Appreciate you, man. Got another comment. He said, appreciate you, OG. About to pull it up on the screen right now and take Paychex down. Here we go. That's the old one. Here we go. No doubt, OG, man. Thank you for the comments, man. And I'm glad to see you, man. So here we go. All right. So yeah, it broke that level a couple of times, but it held that support more recently. We look at it right here. It came down to test that price level of $115.40. And then here it held as resistance. It wasn't able to get above it. But the other place I'm seeing resistance, guys, is right here on the 200-week simple moving average. So I just wanted to look at the higher time frame first before we go down and we look at the 1-year daily chart. So that's where we at now. So we're looking at the daily candles now. And I had put these here just to see what type of decline it was and things like that. So we can remove that to try to clean this chart up a little bit. I looked at this earlier because from the 52-week low to today's close, this is what I talked about at the beginning of the live stream. So this was that 16.81% gain from the 52-week low. So we can remove that. That's what that was on the chart. And it looks like on the daily chart, it found support at this price level as well. We can see over here, it was like resistance at that $95.69. And then here it found support. The wick got below it, but it didn't close below that price level of $95.69. Okay. And today's price action, this candle right here is trading above the 9-day simple moving average, but it's still below the 200-day simple moving average. Price action wasn't on the 200-day simple moving average until since July 29th. So this is around that area. Since the end of July in 2025. That's the last time it was crossing the 200-day simple moving average. So we have enough price levels here for us to move on. But that's what I'm seeing as support and resistance. So let me zoom in on where we're focused on. Go to settings, cut on the floating data box, click apply. And if you guys could be so kind to hit that like button, I definitely would appreciate it, as well as consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you in advance if you already have, or if you will. Appreciate you. So now let's get the stock quote for Paychex. So Paychex opened today at $100.89. They had a high of $101.59. They had a low of $98.80. And they closed today at $99.81, which is a trading range of $2.78. The trading volume, guys, they traded 3.5 million shares of this stock today. So let's find out what the average trading volume is for Paychex in a daily trading session. Take the floating data box off, take me off the screen, and let's look at the volume label. So the average trading volume for Paychex in a daily trading session is 3.3 million shares. So today was slightly above average, coming in at 3.5 million. Now, Friday's candle, since today is Monday, this green candle that was able to get above this 9-day simple moving average, that had higher volume. The volume on that candle was 5.5 million. So it was definitely above average. It almost did twice as much as they do on average. Okay. That's what we got there on that candle that was able to get above that resistance at the 9-day simple moving average. Okay. So now let me put me back on the screen. We got another comment. Pull it up in a second. Let's finish the volume, and then I will pull that comment up on the screen. So with the volume rank percentile, out of the most recent 252 trading days, guys, 91 of those days had higher volume than today's candle. And we can see that it came and tested that resistance that we put here at 101.02, plus $100 is a psychological level that traders tend to respond to, because it's a round number. $100 is significant psychologically. So the volume rank percentile, 63.9%, which means today's volume was higher than 69.3% of the most recent 252 trading days candles. All right, so that's what I'm seeing as support and resistance on the chart. Let's pull up the comment. Here we go. Take that down. Here's the comment. 86 low was very weak, but we have some sellers on top around the $112 area. Volume was good today. Gotcha. So you saying you have some sellers up here at 112 and the volume was good today. 86 low was very weak. Gotcha. Are you using a volume profile tool, like the, I don't know what it's called. You can correct me or let me know, but it's the one where the volume bars are horizontal and it kind of lets you know where the most volume was at certain price levels. Is that the tool that you're using to identify that you got sellers at $112? Take that chat now. Give him time to respond. Okay, so while he answers that question, or they answer that question, let's go ahead and move to the next part of the show. Let's move on. Here we go. So community support, back to the community. I would appreciate it very much if you guys share the stream, hit the like button, subscribe. And if you wish to send a monetary gift to support the content, Cash App and PayPal links are down in the description, as well as on the ticker on the screen. All right, now S&P 500 performance. Okay, let's look at what the S&P 500 index did today by looking at the SPY ETF. This ETF gives investors an opportunity to participate in the broader U.S. market by allowing them to own a percentage of each company in the S&P 500 index. All right, so let's go back to the charts. Let's go back. Here we go. Bam, bam, and I'm gonna pull up the ticker for the SPY now. Here we go. So type in SPY in the symbol box, SPY, and we're going to do something a little different tonight. So I got a treat for y'all. We're going to get there and talk about it. So take me off the screen right over here. So the SPY has a 52-week low of $615.04. 52-week low, 52-week low, a 52-week low of $615.04, 52-week high of $760.40. All right, so we're going to zoom in and focus on the price action that we have going on with the SPY right now. All right, so I had did some research on this in this book about that candle. This candle right here, guys, there's a name for this. And when we had covered this, well, that looked crazy. Let me just point at it. That long, crazy looking candle right there. That's a long-legged doji. All right. Now, if the doji, the open and close was like perfectly in the middle of that candle, I'm looking in my book real quick. It's a Rick straw, if I'm not mistaken. So let me look. DDD, doji lines, Rick straw. Yeah. Rick Straw Man. That's the name of that. If the open and close was perfectly in the middle of that candle. So last time we talked about it, I didn't remember what it was, but I put it in the comments. I pinned it in the comments of that video. Okay, volume profile, yes, and a custom script. Gotcha. So he commented. I'm about to pull it up on the screen so you guys can see it from the question that I asked. I seen that tool. It's really cool. I haven't used it, but I'm familiar with it. So let me pull that comment up. So here's the answer to that question I asked about how are they able to identify where they have buyers and sellers at on the price level of Paychex. So they're using a volume profile indicator and a custom script. So that's the answer. Appreciate you for answering that. That can help a lot of people out. Thank you. So let's take that off. We're looking at the SPY. Okay, so we already know when we're looking at our charts, what's interesting about this, guys, is that the SPY was able to get above the 9-day simple moving average. It filled some of that gap that we had. So we need to adjust this. So let's work on that. So the high on today's candle, is $741.51, 56 cents. Let me pull up the floating data box to help you guys out. So the high on this candle is 741.56. So what we're going to do, take that back off. We're going to adjust this gap because it's been partially filled. So we edit properties. I need to put a price level there because I'm not going to remember that. So let me go ahead and put this here. 741.56. Got it. So now we go in here, we edit properties, and we need to change the bottom range. So here it is. The bottom range, we need to change that to 741.56. Bam. Okay, see? And then we can remove that line, the price level that I put there just so I didn't have to remember what that price was. So now we can see that part of that gap is being filled. That was between the candle on June 22nd and June 23rd. That gap is starting to be filled. Now, even though, so it gapped up today too, guys. So this is where it closed at on Friday, but it opened here today. It came down, but it didn't even come back down to the body of Friday's candle. The volume is lower than Friday as well, but it jumped up and it started to fill some of that gap that we had, and it closed above an area of resistance and above the 9-day simple moving average. And I look at that as resistance as well. So it was able to get above two things and start to fill the gap. Okay, so that's a good sign if you're looking for this to be bullish. But it's a lot of people up here that's still trapped above this price level over the last, looks like a month and a half. So we're going to talk about the ETF quote, and then the volume. When we're looking at the SPY, I don't want to say stock quote, and that's what got me with that. Let me pull up the comments. Doji. Gotcha. So let me pull these up. We were talking about the Rick Straw Man and the long-legged doji. Here's the chat button for that. There we go. So we commented doji, and what else? Those long wicks are an indication that institutions were searching for liquidity. You know what? I'm with you. Yes. Stop hunting and stuff like that. Anytime I see stuff like this, because we talked about this yesterday when you were in our, you seen that live stream. I don't know how much of it, but I had talked about how institutions move the markets. We don't. So when we seeing this moving like this is something they're doing. Like this, in my opinion, was them hunting for liquidity as well. This candle right here with this long wick that went down and broke those levels of support. So this in particular candle's wick, and I pointed to it twice, filled this gap between these two candles. These two candles right here. That was when that gap got filled. So yeah, stop. I call it, well, it's different terms for it. You saying liquidity, but also like stop loss hunting. So they figured people would have their stop losses right below that gap fill, so we can see that it peaked right below it, and that would have triggered those stops, only for it to recover a few days later, like 4 days later. Now it's all the way up here. Then it pulls back and does it again and go a little bit deeper, and then it starts to recover. So yeah, liquidity and stop loss hunting. Appreciate the comment. Yep. So let's take that off and go back to SPY. So here we go. Let's get the ETF quote. Put this back up here. Settings, floating data box. Here we go. So the SPY opened today at $736.53. They had a high of $741.56. They had a low of $732.09, and they closed today at $741, okay, which is a trading range of $9.47. Now we're going to look at the volume. Guys, they traded 58 million shares of this ETF today. Now, we look at this every day. So the thing that jumps out at me immediately when I take myself off the screen, I got the comment. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull it up. Just letting you know I got it. What stands out to me immediately, guys, is that this is below average. So even though it was able to get above this area of resistance here, fill that gap, get above the 9, the average trading volume for this SPY ETF is 73 million shares in a daily trading session. And today they traded 58 million shares of it. So this, that long leg doji that they also identified as liquidity and stop loss hunting, had higher volume. That one had the 71 million, which was still below average, but it was more than what we have now when it made that up move. Okay. Now let's pull up the comment and then we can do the volume rank percentile. So comment, here we go. Chat, take the SPY off. That's the last one. Here's the exactly. We ride the wave. Absolutely. Absolutely. And institutions, what's funny about it is that institutions try to promote to us, and just because they call us dumb money in retail, but they promote to us to use stop losses, but institutions don't use stop losses. So they use a different strategy to manage risk, but they tell the public to use stop losses. But then if we use stop losses, we can get knocked out of trades by stuff like this with these long wicks. And if you think this is bad, I've seen it where it'll have a wick that's stupid long that don't even make any sense. Like like logically, it doesn't even make any sense. I've seen that happen a lot on the candles, the minute candles on SpaceX when they first IPO'd. If you look at the intraday charts on those candles, they had a lot of spikes and dips on those wicks, depending on which direction it was going, that if somebody had a stop loss in, it would have triggered them and knocked them out, only for it to move in the opposite direction after that liquidity grab that you talked about. So, all right, now let's get to the volume rank percentile. We're not looking at PAYX. This is what we need. Okay. So when we're looking at the volume rank percentile, guys, the volume is low. The volume is low. Out of the most recent 252 trading days, guys, only 63 of those days had lower volume than today. And another way to look at that is that today's candle was only higher than 25% of the most recent 252 trading days volumes. That's low. That's low. But I'm still trying to understand the situation with ETFs, because ETFs, depending on which one it is tracking the performance of the index. So if this was a regular stock, I know that the bid and ask caused the price to go up and go down depending on if someone's buying or selling on the ask, but I'm not sure how that works if this is supposed to be tracking the index. So that's what I need to do a little bit more research on and make sure I totally understand the mechanics of it. Like, how does the bid and ask matter about moving the price up and down if it's tracking an index that's fixed? You know, so I need to figure that out. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on. Let's see what else we got going. Yeah, I saw them. Oh, okay. Yep. So he agreed. Let me pull the comment up. Chat, and then change this. Yep. So he was talking about the long wicks and liquidity grabs on the intraday minute candles for SpaceX. That's what we were talking about. Those are algos. Yes, absolutely, they're algos. Yep. And we up against some stuff, ain't we? Oh man, yeah, the odds are against us when it comes to that. We going against supercomputers. So like I said, I'm trying to find the probability to put the edge in my favor. So I try to figure out how to manage risk without using stop losses. Personally, I try to figure out how to manage my risk without having to use stop losses because of situations like that. You can get knocked out of the trade because of the liquidity grabs far too often. And that happens a lot in Forex, which is something I'm not a fan of anyway. But let's go to here. All right, so we're going to do something a little new. Go here, take that off. We're going to do something a little new. We're going to do something called time to follow the money. Let's look at what each sector did inside the S&P 500 index to see how they performed today. So usually I do this on the weekly recap live, and I was thinking, hey, this might be something cool to do during the week. So that's what we're about to start doing. But we're just going to look at the day. Okay, so I'm going to pull up my rotation tracker tool, pull this back up, and then put that on the screen. So here we go. So I have my rotation tracker tool pulled up right here. You see it, rotation tracker. So what we're looking at each sector inside the S&P 500 index, okay? And we're going to see how they perform today. So right now I have it set on 5-day. We're going to change this to 1 day. Is it tracking the equities inside of that? Right. Okay, so I got a couple of things on the screen right now. Give me a second. Take the light down, take this down, put the chat up because it's tracking the equities inside of that. Right. So I think you're talking about how I was talking about the bid and the ask and what's causing the price to go up and down on the SPY ETF. Yeah. So if it's tracking the equities inside of it, then that would affect the technical average trading range. Helps a lot. I think that's what ATR stands for. I looked at that indicator before. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. So yeah, we're going to look at, we need to change this tool, the rotation tracker, to 1 day. Right now it is set to 5 days, guys. It's right over here in the corner. So let me pull this back up. My highlighter is acting up right here. It's on 5 days. So I'm going to go into my settings for this indicator. I'm going to change this to 1 day. So this is going to focus on what happened today. And then we're going to take the comment down. Appreciate the comment. About to go back and put this label back up. Okay. So we already talked about what happened with the SPY. So the ticker for the S&P 500 index, you can see that label right here, is SPX. So we got that. So the S&P 500 went up 1.2% today. Energy is down 0.5%. Materials are down 1.8%. Industrials up 0.9%. Consumer discretionary up 2.4%. Consumer staples down 0.4%. Healthcare up 0.3%. Financials up 0.3%. Information technology up 2.4%. Communication services up 1.6%. Utilities down 0.4%. Real estate down 0.7%. Okay, now let's glance over these and see who did the best and who did the worst. All right. So looking at this information technology, and then, so it's rounding them off, guys. So I'm explaining to you what I'm doing. If we look at consumer discretionary and information technology, both of those look like they're the same. They're not, okay? And I'm going to show you. If you look up here, this number is actually the information technology number, and it's rounded on the label. It's rounded up. So the leader was actually consumer discretionary at 2.4, and the number for that one is right here, 2.4. So it's higher than the information technology, even though they look the same on the label. Okay, so that was the leader for today. Now, who lost the most? Materials. Materials are down 1.8%. So that's the sector that lost the most today, and that's the sector that gained the most today. Consumer discretionary gained the most, materials lost the most. All right, so that's what we got on our rotation tracker. So that's something new we're going to start doing. So let's go back to pro market close, and we can move on. So we got that out the way. Show going pretty good, adding some new things to what we got going on. Put the like up here, take that down for educational purposes only. Got that. Okay, and then no, not that. Here we go. All right. So we did the follow the money. Now let's look at the S&P 500 biggest gainer and loser of the day. Let's look at them. But first, we're going to take a look at the loser so we can end the night on a high note. All right. So let's find the company that performed the worst in the S&P 500 today. Actual company. So let's go back to the charts. We're going to go over here to the Market Watch tab right here. And I do have the S&P 500 pulled up. It's not linked, so let me link that. And then we are going to change the percentage. So there we go. The biggest loser for today, guys, is ticker SMCI. They lost 8.1%. Today, that's what they lost right there. The previous close was $30.63, and they closed today at $28.15. Let me pull up the calculator and let's do a hypothetical. Erase all of that. Pull this over. Let's do a hypothetical. So if someone invested, let's say $2,500, that's not $2,500, $2,500, and they lost that 8.1%. We're going to turn that into a percentage. Well, that percentage into a decimal. They would negate it. So they would have lost $202.50. Then we add the $2,500 back to it. So they would have $2,297.50 left of their total investment. Okay. After that 8.1% loss. All right. So now we're going to go over to the Analyze tab, and we can see that SMCI is in the information technology sector. So we're going to track that sector's performance, the industry, and the sub-industry. All right. So we're going to go over back to the Market Watch tab and pull up the Visualize tab. Now that we have that pulled up, we already have the S&P 500 watch list pulled up. We can take me off the screen. There we go. Here's the information technology sector. Bam. We are looking for SMCI. SMCI. I have to find their industry. Here they are. They're in the technology, hardware, and storage and peripherals industry. They're down here in the corner. Their market cap is small compared to these other ones. That's why it's so small, but it's bright red. You can see that it lost that 8.1%. Okay, let me expand this over so we can see it. I got your comment. I'll pull it up in a second. So here's the information technology sector. Here's the technology, hardware, storage, and peripherals industry. And the sub industry is the same thing, I believe. Yep, it's the same thing. So it's mixed, guys. You got four red, 5 green is mixed in that industry today. Okay. So let's go back to the Analyze tab. And before we go to their website, the worst opportunity. Pulling the comments up now. Here we go. Comment. The worst equal opportunity. Yes. That can be taken like that. That can be taken like that. That if I see a company, personally, if I see a company that looks like they're doing bad, it could be bad in the market. Like the stock price could be bad. But what really tells me how much risk is involved would be looking at the fundamentals. That just tells me I need to do more research. Don't just listen to the news. I need to do my due diligence and go look and see if the fundamentals of the company are strong and nothing's really changed. It's just that the stock isn't hot right now. It's not popular right now. And then I realized through my experience that the market just doesn't go through cycles. Sectors don't just go through cycles. Industries just don't go through cycles. Companies go through cycles. So that industry that company is in could be going through a positive cycle, but that company itself could be going in it could be in a restructuring cycle. They could be changing directors or leadership. They could be doing stock buybacks. They could be making some readjusting debt. They could be making some changes to where they're just not popular around that time. And we need to do our due diligence to find out what that is. So yeah, I feel you. And then you got this. So what's the other comment? Yeah, Taiwan raided them because of possible black market selling of the GPUs. Yes. And I got toe up. I got toe up there. I don't remember his name, but a high up director in that company was accused of smuggling chips to China that he wasn't supposed to be doing through SMCI. And I was dollar cost averaging into that position around $30 before it lost a third of its value overnight because of that crazy news, only for the stock to fall down to $19. I sell at the bottom. I was over leveraged. Shame on me. Fell down to the $19 and then watched it go all the way up to over $50. Made me sick. made me sick. So yes, I'm aware of SMCI. Gosh, yeah, hurts my heart to talk about it sometimes. But then even now, they back under where I had bought it at now. Because we're looking at it now, it's at $28.15. My dollar cost average was around $30 to $31. So yeah, where were we at? We talking about this before we go to the website. So go back here, take the chat down, put the company disclaimer back up, put this up because we're on the Thinkorswim. Take me off the screen. All right, so Super Micro Computer Incorporated. My cursor, guys, that's what's going on. Here's the link to their website. Links to their website are also down in the description for your convenience. Super Micro Computer Incorporated, together with its subsidiaries, develops and sells server and storage solutions based on modular and open standard architecture in the United States, Asia, Europe, and internationally. Got it. Now let's go to their website. Put me back on the screen. Here we go. And then put the right disclaimer up. Got to pay more attention to that. Okay, we're on the home page, guys. We're on the home page. You can see they partner with NVIDIA. You can't see it because I'm on the screen. Get a glimpse before they change it. Okay. So we're going to go to company, careers, and investor relations. So let's browse over this home page and then we'll search for all that other stuff. Okay. Data center building block solutions, accelerated time to deployment and reduced time to online for AI data centers. Got it. These are the different products and services that they have. I have the comment. I just heard it. Give me 1 second. I'll bring it up. Building blocks, cluster networking, GPUs galore, guys. Look at all of this. Look. Supermicro 5G edge solutions, empowering the deskless workforce with tactile and Intel. Data center refresh and expansion. How on-premises deployment can overcome 6 critical AI challenges. All right, so we went over that. Got a couple comments about to pull them up before we move forward, guys. So here we go. Oh gosh, he's saying this is the second time this has happened. I didn't know this was the second time. So okay. So here's the comment. This is the second time that has happened. Totally unaware of it. I wish I had known that this happened more than once. Okay. And then I don't trust them. And guess what? I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I don't trust them. To be honest with you. So here's my little opinion. My little opinion is they hot as a firecracker. I wouldn't touch them with a 10-foot pole. That's my personal That's my personal opinion. And then what else? What did I want to say? Like looking at like the way they have their website set up, it looked janky. It just looks, it's not as professional as I think it could be. It don't look like they put a lot of effort into it as far as like all the stuff that they offer dealing with computers, and then your website looks so, you know, it looks amateurish to me. So like that would be part of my research when I'm doing my qualitative analysis to determine whether or not I want to look at that opportunity, that company as an opportunity, and depending on what they do and how much money they supposed to have, that they don't even put a certain amount of money into their website. Like that would be concerning to me, if that makes sense. So yeah, we're down here at the bottom, company profile, I'm blocking it. So here we go, guys. Company profile, investor relations, and careers. So I'm gonna go to the top, company about us. So we can click on it from up here. For some reason, we can't click that one. It's not a hyperlink. So let's go up here to company about us, and then we'll browse through this. Let me make sure that I'm zoomed in. Zoom in. There we go. The key to success in technology is designing a company around people committed to work that they love. Put me back on the screen. I got your comment. I'll pull it up in a second. Supermicro is a global technology leader committed to delivering first-to-market innovation for AI, cloud storage, and 5G edge IT infrastructure. Got it. First-to-market innovation, total solutions. We keep it green. U.S.-based engineering and manufacturing. Corporate overview. So here are some stats about the company. Ranked among the Fortune 500 companies, founded and headquartered in the USA. Got it. Company milestones. So here's some history about the company right here. Green computing. Here's the leadership. All right. So we got through that. Now we are looking for careers. Take me off the screen. Here we go. Click that. Glad it didn't take us to another website. I'm going to put me back on the screen, and then I'm going to pull up the comments. Here we go. Put me back on the screen. Take this down. LOL. Yep. Oh, he was just laughing anyway. He was just laughing because I'm like, I don't trust him neither. I'm with you. Ditto. Oh my gosh. Yeah, man. So yeah, drive the future of Supermicro. Accelerate your career. Man, this tool keep taking my cursor off. What it means to work here. What our values are. What makes us unique. World-class culture and benefits. So we're going to come back there and click on that because that's what we're looking for under the careers. Just accelerate diversity, Supermicro careers and Supermicro America jobs, EMEA jobs, Europe, Middle East, and Africa. They got it right there. That's what that stands for, guys. I had to look that up before. Europe, Middle East, Africa. APAC jobs, green computing, event spotlight. Got it. All right, let's go to the benefits section right here where it says learn more. Click that and let's see how many details they feed you. You go to benefits, first thing they show you is food and walking dogs. So explore benefits. Take me off the screen. Explore our benefits. Your talent drives Supermicro's success and makes this a great place to work. We provide comprehensive benefits from day one for eligible employees, their dependents, and domestic partners. Our benefits give you many choices to meet the needs of both you and your family and help you prepare for the future. Okay, guys, here it is. Here's the information to give you an idea of what they offer to employees. And right here is where they talking about the on-site cafeteria. The picture of the food. Okay, all right. Now they got something. You click it again. Got another link. Is this the same? This should be the same. Yeah, this is the same thing. Yeah, they got me like that before. Okay, here we go. Investor relations. So we're gonna go here. Let's see if we zoomed in and put me back on the screen. There we go. All right, so we're going to browse over this page, and then we're going to look at the stock information that they have available on the website. This is also a hyperlink, so we can click on that. They do trade on the NASDAQ. Let's scroll over it. Corporate overview, latest financial results, Q3 2026, news events, feature presentation, executive, management, and governance, investor email alerts. Got it. So we're going to go to the top. Right here at the top, you can also click up here where it says stock information, okay? So we're going to go there, stock details. Here's the stock quote that they have available, and here is the chart and other investor tools that they offer people on the website. So here we go. Let's talk about what I found in my research about the company. So Supermicro Computer Incorporated, ticker SMCI. When it comes to their goods and services, they manage high performance server manufacturing across the enterprise, cloud data center, and artificial intelligence markets, offering solutions such as, number one, complete server architecture options, including liquid cooled racks and modular building blocks for hyperscale infrastructure providers. Number two, scalable computational storage products, including flash storage servers, unified storage, and network platforms for enterprise networks. And number three, optimized accelerated computing systems tailored for generative artificial intelligence, edge node inference. Hope I pronounced that right. And deep learning. Okay. Looking at their S&P 500 customers and partners, notable names include NVIDIA Corporation, ticker NVDA, Intel Corporation, ticker INTC, and Advanced Micro Devices Incorporated, ticker AMD. Got another comment. Must be laughing about the food, but here we go. Here's another comment. Ha, ha, ha. Yeah. Benefits of the food, man. Benefits of the food. So here we go. Got them. All right, we're about to go to the charts. Let's go to the charts. So here we go. Bam, bam. There we go. Here's the right disclaimer. All right, going to the charts. Now, because we've looked at this before, guys, we got a lot going on the chart. So let's slow roll this. I know this looks busy, but I got you. Give me, we gonna break this down. So here is the 52-week high of $62.36. Here's the 52-week low of $19.48. Whew. All right, so let's zoom in. So this is what caught my attention. Since I already told on myself about I was looking at this company, this is what caught my attention, guys. I was looking at this. They were consolidating for 3 months. So I knew that it either had to break out to the upside or break out to the downside. And we already talked about it. It broke out to the downside. And it broke out to the downside on that negative news, that negative catalyst that came out of nowhere, caused this huge gap down. And the company lost a third of its value overnight. I panicked. I was over leveraged. And I couldn't take the heat. Sold everything. There were other things that I could have done to stay in the trade, which I wasn't aware of at the time, but I learned afterwards. I could have just lightened the position. So instead of selling everything, I could have just sold some of them to satisfy or preventing a margin call, or just preventing myself from losing more of everything. I could have reduced the position. That was one of the options that I had, but I couldn't think at it. I was panicking. Okay. But since then, from that low, it has went up over 163%. From that low of $19.48, only to go up to $51.40, even with that negative news. So the idea was right, but the timing didn't work in my favor. Because then it turned around and needed about 2 months. So it consolidated for about 3 months. Then it needed 2 months to recover to get to that high, looking at it like that. So it's almost half a year. But this is where we are right now. We got a lot of different price levels on here, and I'm going to take this off of the screen. So let's position this so we can look at what's going on. All right. Come on. Here we go. Man, there's a lot of different levels on this chart. If I don't know why it's there, guys, I'm about to just remove it. Because some of these levels, there's just so many levels on here, I don't even know what they are at this point. So let's remove this. This one I'm seeing as a zone. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a zone there now. We're going to clean that up and make this a zone. So I'm going to use this rectangle tool connected to that low of the red candle and of the green candle. And then I'm going to extend this to the right. So we're going to take this out to December 1st. And then we're going to take this back to we just need to take it back far enough to let's go back to July 2025. So that's the support zone because the price is above it. Now, the price levels are kind of bunched up, so I'm going to go ahead and remove them. I'm going to leave the top one there. so it'll be easier to see. So the top of that support zone is $28.29, okay? And these trend lines, we don't need those. This was just me looking to see what opportunity was in the move, which is what I already explained already. So we can see how we starting to clean the chart up. Then this yellow that we see right here, that's been filled. That was a gap, but it's been filled. So we can remove this. That doesn't need to be there anymore. That still looks like a valid support and resistance. We can see that it was responding to that price level of $33.64. You see how it's responding to the 200-day simple moving average as well as support and resistance. And then this zone, we can extend it over to December 1st. So you see that's also a resistance zone. It wasn't just the 200-day simple moving average. Now this gap has not been filled, so we can leave it there. That was the last time we looked at it, because this day, which was June 22nd, started to fill that gap because the gap was down to the top of this candle. If you can't see it, that's what we're looking at. And then the 9-day simple moving average. So we can see how it responded to that as well. It opened right on it, right above that level of resistance and support, depending on where the price started at $44.74. So with it opening above that, it was support. It did not hold. Then it came all the way down, bounced off of this level of support at $37.91 and closed in the middle. Only to gap down and open here and close all the way down here. Man, crazy. So as far as technicals, guys, we already have them on the charts. We really don't have to do any technicals for SMCI. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and do the stock quote for SMCI, and we can move on. We already identified the 200-day simple moving average and the 9-day simple moving average, and I got a comment. So I'm going to pull that up in 1 second. Let me do the stock quote, and then I'll pull up the comment. Okay, so here we go. Floating data box. So SMCI opened today at $31. They had a high of $31.22. They had a low of $27.75. They closed today at $28.15. And they had a trading range of $3.47. We go down and we look at the volume, guys. They traded 91 million shares of this stock today. So we're going to come back to that, and let me get this comment. Let me take the floating data box off, and we're going to talk about that volume in 1 second. Take this off, go to the comment. So here we go. Take that off, chat. Comment: the price tanked back then because the CEO was caught smuggling NVIDIA GPUs to China. The black walls, I think it's called. And at the time, it was illegal for them to be in China. Absolutely. Yep. That's what we talked about. Absolutely. Yep. That's what ended up happening. And that's what got me. That was part of what got the stock moving and scared everybody out of their mind. And I'm like, no. Yeah. Yep. That was what happened. He was accused of it or whatever. But that was the headline. That's what was going on in the headline. So, yep, appreciate the comment. But, yep, that's what was going on. Here we go. Now, back to the volume. Take me off the screen. Guys, the average trading volume for SMCI in a daily trading session is 36.8 million shares in a daily session. They did 91. They did almost 3 times what they normally do. And I'm rounding this down to 30. That's how I did that. So this candle, this small candle right there. So that was Friday. The candle I'm pointing at over here. They had 48.5 million shares traded on Friday. That was above average, but it was in that tight, small body on that candle. Let me take some of these, space this out, make this a little bigger, and just focus on what we're looking at, okay? Compared to the body on this candle, that body is extremely small, but it was a lot as far as being above average being traded in that day on Friday, okay? And then they just came in crazy today with this red candle, bringing it all the way down here to this support zone and actually closing above the top end of that zone of that $28.29. Now I'm going to show you the bottom price. Let me just put the price level up, because now that we zoomed in far enough, it will it'll be easy to see. So the bottom of that support zone is $27.75. All right. Now we can put me back on the screen and let's talk about the volume rank percentile. So out of the most recent 252 trading days, guys, 9 of those days, only 9 of those days were higher than today's volume. Only 9 days above. Now, out of the most recent 252 trading days, today's volume was higher than 96.4% of those trading days. All right. So they had significant volume with this price moving to the downside. Don't know if they had news, but I want to move a little faster because we got one more company to cover. So let's go ahead and go to the Market Watch tab. Collapse all of this. We're going to come back to visualize in a minute. Let's go over here to the quotes sub tab. Now, the biggest gainer for today is ticker GLW, Corning Incorporated. They had a 15.67% gain. Previous close was $221.05. They closed today at $255.69. Let's pull up the calculator and do a quick hypothetical. So if someone had invested $2,500 and they received that 15.67% gain, we change it to a decimal, they would have gained $391.75. Add the $2,500 initial principal back to it. Total investment would have grown to $2,891.75. Bada boom, bada bing. All right, now let's go over to the Analyze tab. And here we go. GLW is also in the information technology sector, but they might be in a different industry, in a different sub-industry. So let's see how that industry, sub-industry, and sector performed. We already looked at the sector, but we're going to look again. So go back over to the Market Watch tab, pull up the Visualize tab, open up the S&P 500, take me off the screen. Here we go. Information technology sector. We're looking for GLW. If they have a small market cap, they're going to be hard to see. GLW. Guys, I don't see it, and I don't want to click on everything. It's right here. It's underneath this label, which makes it hard to see. But they're in electronic equipment and in electronic equipment, instruments, and components industry. Okay, that's the industry they're inside of. It's over here on the left. This whole industry did well today, guys. All green. Now the sub industry is electronic components. All right, and it's only 3 companies in that. So we seen that. Now let's go back over to the Analyze tab. Right down here, before we go to their website, company profile, Corning Incorporated. Here's their website. Links to their website is also down in the description for your convenience. Corning Incorporated operates in optical communications, display specialty materials, automotive, and life sciences businesses in the United States, Canada, Mexico, Japan, Taiwan, China, South Korea, Germany, and internationally. Got it. All right. Now let's go over to their website. Here we go. Put me back on the screen. Got another comment. I will pull it up in a second. Okay, I got it. I got you. So here we go. We can pull it up now because it's a brief comment. Another New York company. Got it. You know a lot of your stuff. you almost every company we pull up, you familiar with. So here we go. We're going to check this website out. Where is the cursor? Here's the cursor. Let's put the... Thank you for that comment. And we have the ticker back up. Okay, so we're on the home page, guys. We're going to go to About Us. Here's the career section. About Us might have the information. I mean, the investor relations and then About Us as well. So let's browse over the home page. And then we're going to come back and we're going to click on those things. About Us, careers, investor relations. Corning Gorilla Glass puts glass through the ringer. All right, For 175 years, Corning has combined its unparalleled expertise in glass science, ceramics science, and optical physics with deep manufacturing and engineering capabilities to develop life-changing innovations and products. Got it. Discover what's making headlines at Corning. Okay, it says they announced a quarterly dividend, so they started paying dividends. Looks like they weren't paying one before, obviously. Explore Corning investor relations. Why invest? Corning applies its differentiated and distinctive capabilities to invent and make category-defining, highly engineered products, drive profitable and durable growth, and create long-term value. They are the biggest gainer today. Wonder if they had some news or earnings. So we'll look at, I don't think they had earnings because I would have seen that. Explore the ways Corning impacts your life. And I got a question. Do you look for upcoming earnings? Because I've been looking for a resource that has a list of that. I found something today that I like, but if you know something, like I heard of earnings whisperers, but if anybody that's watching can put that in the chat, a free resource that tells you about upcoming earnings so you can see what's coming. Let me know in the chat or in the comments. Illuminate the past and explore the future of innovation. All right, so down here at the bottom, here we go. We got our company, we got about us, and we got careers. Hey, they got it broke down real. I like how they have this broke down. They have it real easy for you to be able to see what's inside of it. So we know that our values and things like that are going to be under careers. Let's go ahead and go to about us and dig into this so we can keep the show moving. Our company, our leadership, our people, and our values. So our company, Corning, is vital to progress in the industries we shape and in the world we share. Who we are, what we do. Where is Corning? Here it is. He said it was in New York. World headquarters, One Riverfront Plaza, Corning, New York. I'm gonna pull that comment back up. Commented that it was in New York. Here's the address right here. World headquarters. One Riverfront Plaza, Corning, New York. Right here. Over 60,000 employees worldwide. Put this back. Here we go. All right. At a glance, empowering scientific discovery. Wendell P. Weeks. Okay. Our history, 1947, cathode ray tubes. Okay, so we went through that, went through about us. Let's go ahead and go to careers. What we looking for, guys, we're looking for the benefits and values and purpose, mission, anything we can find over here like that. The company built on breakthroughs. We do world-changing work. Discover the total package. Remember, links to this website are down in the description if you want to watch these videos. You belong here. Your community awaits. We care about our communities and each other. Find your place. Here are some recognitions, things they've been recognized for. It's a long list. I heard the comment. I'm going to pull it up in a second. Learn more about Corning careers. Search careers. Join Corning's talent. Join Corning's talent community. Got it. All right, I didn't see anything about benefits. Let's go to our values. So values, so they talk about quality, integrity, performance, leadership, innovation, independence, the individual. Got it. I'm going to try one more time to see if I can find the benefits. Let's go to career resources. About protecting your information, job application. Nope. Was that career resources? Let's go to search jobs. Yeah, guys, I don't see anything about the benefits. Let's go ahead and go to the investor relations. We still got all this other stuff up here. Investor relations. So here's investor relations. It opened up in a separate website. Let me bring this over, blow it up and set it up. And as soon as I get that done, I'll go ahead and pull up the comment. So here we go. We can close this out or minimize it. Here we go. Thinkorswim has it. J-Rock is in the building. What's up? What's up? Got a couple comments. Let me pull them up on the screen. I haven't heard from J-Rock in a minute. So let me take that off the screen. Here's the chat. Thinkorswim has it, if I'm not mistaken, in the calendar tab. It does. And I don't like it. It does. I actually like And you know what? If you guys are still tuning in, we'll do this after the live stream. We'll pull up the differences in the calendars to show you why I like what I found instead. Okay. Let me pull up the other comment. What's your thoughts on Nike? Oh, J-Rock. It's interesting, but I haven't looked at the financials. I'm gonna be honest with you. I haven't looked at the financials. My idea is Nike isn't going. My opinion, my personal opinion, not advice, is that I don't believe Nike is going out of business. They're not. That's just my belief. They're not going out of business, which means that the stock cannot fall forever. Now, how far it's going to fall, I have no idea. But the idea that it's not going out of business, it can't fall forever. And it's one of the reasons why I like stocks. At some point, when the stock gets too low, someone can buy shares of that company and gain a lot of ownership in the company, like a corporate takeover. So at some point, it'll be too attractive if it has good fundamentals in place to where it makes sense to just go ahead and buy up as many shares as you can to own the company, and then go in and make changes and whatever you need to make changes of. It just becomes too attractive at some point. What that price is, I have no idea, but I'm not surprised that it looks attractive. But it looked attractive when it was at $70 and it came down to 40. You see what I'm saying? And that was when I actually traded it. I traded it when it was around $70, but I didn't like how it was moving after earnings. Like, it had a nice little spike after earnings. It went up like $8, but it just didn't feel right. I was like, nah, I'm gonna take my profits now. And I'm glad I did. Yeah, they have earnings tomorrow. And I'm covering them tomorrow too. And you're long on Nike. Long, I get it. You long, so you bullish on it. Are you looking at it as a long or as a long-term or short-term position? Like, are you swing trading it, or are you looking at it as a long-term investment? I'm curious. That's not J-Rock. I'm sorry. You're long on Nike. Got you. I got you. NLMJ. Got you. They're long on Nike. Got it. I did a leap option contract. Got it. And J-Rock said, cool. Both of y'all were commenting. I got it mixed up. My bad. So yeah, they have earnings tomorrow. I'm going to cover Nike tomorrow. And he already answered the question I want to ask you too. Do you have a position in Nike, or what's your interest in Nike? You're swinging it. Okay, cool. Got you. You got a profit target? Like, you know where you want to get out at? And thank you guys for commenting, because I'll be wanting to talk to people about this. Some people be scared to comment. Like, go ahead, talk. What you scared of? All right, so while y'all doing that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the investor relations. So go ahead and pull up the gainer for this. GLW. Okay, so we're on the investor relations page. Scroll down over this page. I got the comment. I'm pulling it up in a second. So here we go. Stock info, stock quote. Here we go. So here's the stock quote that they have available on the website. Here's the stock chart, historical stock quote, investor calculator, and things like that. Stock info. Here are other tools that they have available for investors on their website as well. And it looks like they pay a dividend. So we'll talk about that when we go to the charts. All right, now let me tell you what I found in my research about this company, and then we'll get to what came through in the chat, because the chat is blowing up now, man. I appreciate y'all. So here we go. This is what I found in my research about Corning. So Corning Incorporated, ticker GLW, when it comes to their goods and services, they manage material science manufacturing across the optical communications, mobile consumer electronics, and automotive emissions markets, offering solutions such as complete optical connectivity options, including high density fiber cables and photonics hardware for hyperscale data centers. Number 2, scalable specialty glass products, including damage-resistant ceramic substrates, cover materials, and semiconductor wafers for manufacturers. Number 3, an optimized substrate engineering systems tailored for particulate filter systems, life sciences vessels, and solar wafer applications. Looking at their S&P 500 customers and partners, notable names include NVIDIA Corporation, ticker NVDA, Meta Platforms Incorporated, ticker META, and Apple Incorporated, ticker AAPL. All right. Now, let's get these comments up while I got this. Go here, take that down, pull up the chat. All right. So NLMJ, they also recently changed CEOs. Yes. And when I don't know that, I'm just, you said it, and I'm agreeing that that's important to know. Sometimes people look at leadership change as negative. Other people look at leadership change as positive. Sometimes they look at it as positive depending on the track record of the CEO. So who did they work for before and if they had success there? So sometimes it's a green flag, sometimes it's a red flag. So I'm glad that you got that information. J-Rock. Okay, so J-Rock said his profit target is $47. Got it. Cool. What is it now? What is the price now going into earnings? Well, we can pull that up. All right, we'll look at Nike when we get done with the live stream. And then we'll look at the other thing about upcoming earnings to be able to pull that up as well. All right, because we're in the middle of this and I don't want to move that too long. I hope you guys are still here when we do that. So he needs some time to correct some things. Yep. And it could be that they just were over leveraged when everything was good with the company. Like it was just the dough was rolling in, or it could have been it just was extremely overvalued. And then institutions said, you know what, we're going to pull our money out and put it somewhere else, like move it over into information technology or other companies that didn't, or other companies and opportunities that didn't seem overvalued. So we talked about it before, institutions move the market. So if the institutions decide we pulling our money out of Nike, it's just going to keep falling. And then when they say, okay, it's too good to pass up, they start coming back in. My contract is for 90, 365 days out, 60 cents a contract. Got you. So you're saying your strike price is 90? Yep, I see it. You did it. You did it. You put it in there. I got it. I got it in the comments. All right. Your strike is 90. Yeah. See, he talking options, man. Listen, sometimes, and I'm not saying you doing this, but I know that this guy was trying to seem like he knew what he was talking about when he was talking about options. And I didn't even say anything. I just know that I knew he didn't know what he was talking about, because when he was talking about the option, all he said was, I got puts in whatever company this was. I was like, oh, you got puts? He was like, yeah, I got puts in such and such, and just was not. And I'm like, that makes absolutely no sense. Being and so, that's not enough information. It's too many. That's not telling the strike price. That's not telling whether you bought the put or you sold the put. Like it's other details that go into options to where that means absolutely nothing. It was like he was just talking. It was weird. But anyway, let's go here and go ahead and go to the charts for Corning Incorporated. Here we go. We're at the charts. Let me pull this back up. Oh, wow. Okay. They didn't have earnings. We already knew that because I knew it wasn't on earnings coming up. We looked at that. Remove these drawings. Oh, guys. So they hit a new 52-week high. Corning has a 52-week low, take me off the screen, of $51.32, 52-week high of $258.80. I have to use this trend line tool, guys. So we're going to connect this to the low, and we're going to take this to the 52-week high. That opportunity, guys, was 404%. Oh, my gosh. Feast your eyes on that. So it's trading above the 200-day simple moving average and the 9-day simple moving average. Let's go to the 10-year. Oh, my gosh. So we're looking at the 10-year weekly chart. They have a 10-year low of $17.44. They have a 10-year high of $258.80, which is also the current 52-week high. Because the price action is up here, we really don't need to look at the 10-year weekly chart to look for price levels because we have them right here, guys. We have them right here. If I was going to look for some type of recent support, I like to have it cross multiple candles, guys. So with the price level of $211.79, let me zoom in so I can show you what I'm talking about. It's touching multiple candles. It's touching this candle, that candle, this candle, and really close to this one. I remember the last time we looked at this, I was kind of moving fast. That's why I didn't use a zone here like I did down here. But we can turn this into a zone. We can turn this into a zone, and this is how I would do it. I would connect it to this high on this candle and the low on this candle. And then I would remove that price level and do like a support resistant zone. So edit properties and then take this over. I heard the comment. I got you. I'll pull it up in 1 second. And if I forget, guys, when I get ready to wrap up the show, remind me that we were going to look at how to look up earnings on different tools, not just on the Thinkorswim platform, but just show you different ways to look up upcoming earnings. So now we're using, that's the top of the zone. That's the bottom of the zone, $215.13. Bottom of that support zone is $208.92. And that's where the price action came down today and tested that zone. Okay. Still trading above this 9-day simple moving average and the 200-day simple moving average, and have earnings coming up on July 28th. Okay. There's the comment. So we got the comment from NLMJ. Here we go. Pull that up. If I click it again, chat. LOL, exactly. If they don't know the Greeks, then they don't know options. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny, man. Like, finance is just funny. It's just funny. Yeah, some people just try to act like it's okay not to know. Like, that's how you learn. Like, he was better off just asking questions. Like, if you trade or you do options, man, how do they work? He was better off doing that than to try to just say something to make it look like he knew something. You know, different people have different approaches. I just assume from what I was hearing, it didn't seem like he knew what he was talking about, and it wasn't worth trying to engage in conversation. So I didn't even ask, like, what was the strike price? Or what was, you know, what's the expiration date? Like, it's all these other things he left out. I got puts and such and such. Okay. Are you long or are you short? Did you write it or did you buy it? I just was like, I'm leaving that alone. I'm leaving that alone. So yeah, as far as support and resistance, we already have our lines here, guys. So this was easy. Here's our 200-day simple moving average. We got a while before the price go down to there. I don't see any gaps that could possibly be filled. This was the last time I think there was a gap over here and right here, but they've been filled already. And right here has been filled. All of those been filled. Got another comment. The data centers are most def boosting them a sleeper company, GLW. Appreciate the comment, man. Appreciate the comment. They already moving. I don't know if people sleeping on it too much. And now that you mentioned it, it looks like it's been consolidating and then it broke out. So like if we do this, wait a minute, come on tool. If we do this, this looks like a consolidation range and then boom. Broke out, came back down and tested it in the middle of the session as well. So we need to look at this volume. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and take it down, go here. Let's pull up these settings. Here we go, floating data box. Let's get the stock quote, talk about the volume, and then we'll do the other things before we end the show. So here we go. Corning Incorporated opened today at $226.90. They had a high of $258.80. They had a low of $215.13, and they closed today at $255.69, which is a trading range of $43.67. Now, when we look at the volume, guys, they traded 24.3 million shares of this stock today, but we don't know if that's a big deal or not. So let's go look at my volume labels to see what the average trading volume is for Corning in a daily trading session. There's our answer. The average trading volume is 9.6 million shares in a daily trading session, and they did almost 3 times that. And then, so that's this candle right here. But then on Friday, the previous volume was above average as well. A lot higher, and that was a smaller body candle. This red candle right here was Friday's candle. And they traded 45 million shares on that candle right above that support zone. And that was the breakout. If we looked at that as a consolidation range, when I did this, these candles it was holding that support on top of that consolidation range and broke out to the top. Wow. High volume right there too, compared to average on Friday. All right, now let's put me back on the screen and let's talk about got a bug flying around. We got a bug in the house. The volume rate percentile. So out of the most recent 252 trading days, guys, only 4 of those days had higher volume than today's candle. And guess what? We know that Friday was one of those days. We know that. So now when we look at this part, out of the most recent 252 trading days, today's volume was higher than 98.4% of those candles. Bam, bada boom, bada bing. We got it. So we got through Corning, and now we can go here, and then we can pick up this discussion a little bit about looking at earnings and upcoming earnings. So we talked about, we can take this off. Q&A, chat is open and all of that. So I used to use Earnings Whisperers. I don't like the way their website is laid out, guys. I just don't. So you said that you can look up the earnings on the Thinkorswim platform. So let's pull the chart back up and do that. So here's the chart. So I got to look for this. I believe it's under Market Watch. Yep. So here it is, calendar. So here's what I don't like about it. So here's the tool. But what I don't like about this tool is that you can't prioritize what you find. Let me take me off the screen and explain what I mean. Let's say I wanted to look at the company based off their market cap size. So here's the symbol. I can move that. So here's the estimated date for that earnings release. So June 30th. Here's the companies. So you can put them in alphabetical order, but there's no option for or choice that you can put for their market cap. I want to look at the earnings, upcoming earnings based off of market cap, and there's no setting to change that anywhere on there. So that's why I don't like using this tool. So I know that Thinkorswim has it. So this is what I've been using. So let me put me back on the screen, and then I'm gonna pull up the site I've been using. So what I decided to use that I actually stumbled on today was Yahoo Finance. So let me bring this over and show it to you. And then we can briefly talk about Nike. Are you guys still there? Put something in the chat. Let me know where you at, where you tuning in from. And if you still there, let me know if you're still there while we covering this. Pull this back up. So here we are. So on the Yahoo Finance website, if we go to research and then go to calendar and go to earnings, this is what I stumbled on today. So what's cool about this, they have the market cap here, guys, and they already have it in ascending order. And there it is. There's Nike right there at the top. So their market cap is 61.43 billion. And then it goes to from the largest market cap down to the smallest. You can't click it and change it from ascending to descending and all of that, but it's already set up that way. And they tell you if it's after market close, before market open, after market close. They tell you the fourth quarter 2026 earnings announcement, the ticker and the company name. So that's on Tuesday, June 30th. So that's tomorrow. And then they have it right here. We just click on it and they give you the next one. So the way I had found it is over here on the right-hand side. You see this little tool down here? This is how I ended up finding out that they had earnings. I clicked that and then it brought you over here. So to me, this is the best tool I've found so far. J-Rock is in LA. J-Rock is tuning in from LA. Listen, man, I appreciate you. You know, so let me explain why. Besides you tuning in and being a loyal viewer, and I've seen you here multiple times, you've left plenty of comments. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm on the East Coast. And based off of when it works best for me to be able to do these live streams, I'm up at 11 o'clock at night, Eastern Standard, on the East Coast, Eastern time, up at 11 o'clock at night, because that's when my family is asleep and it's quiet for me to be able to talk about the market. So I had to think bigger than just, well, the East Coast isn't the only people that's investing or trading in the stock market. You got Pacific time, you got Central time. It's earlier for them. You even got, I'm gonna say the wrong thing. I already know. Like Mississippi, whatever time zone that is. I don't want to say the wrong thing. They're an hour behind. So when I start at 11, it'll be 10 p.m. for them. Whatever time zone that is, help me out. I'm in Eastern. I mean, you can always have an AI coded how you want. Very easy to do. You saying like a custom script? You saying like a custom script inside? Oh, Florida, got you. NLMJ is tuning in from Florida. Man, y'all making my night. That means we got people watching in different states. Man, I appreciate y'all. So yeah, let me know. I can have AI coded. Because I used to just ask AI, like, who has upcoming earnings coming? But it would mess up. Like, you got to pay for certain tiers for it to be more accurate. And even with me paying for it, then they ask you, like, is this a formula code? And, like, it's different. You pay for a higher tier, but you still can adjust it off of how well which is stupid to me. I want the thing to be accurate. Like, why would I want to dumb down the AI? I want it to be as efficient as possible. But because it uses more resources, they add a whole bunch of nuances and stuff like that. But as far as like right now, this is the best tool that works for me. I just wanted to share it with you guys and ask you if you had something different that you guys used or something like that. At first, I was using Earnings Whisperers. I knew about Thinkorswim having the calendar, but I think the best feature about Thinkorswim having their calendar, let me pull it back up, is the fact that you can put these on the charts. So the little icons over here on the left, that's not even where you select it at. But let me go back to the charts to show you what I'm saying. On the charts, you see how we got the icons for the earnings call and the dividends? It's a way for us to add specific icons we want to show on the chart. I like that feature. But as far as the calendar feature, I think they could have did a better job. Yes, sir. Custom script. Okay. Cause on mine, I think the only custom script I got that talks about earnings is this one right here. So it tells me when I look up a company, it tells me how many trading days until the next earnings of the company that I'm looking up, as long as I'm on a daily candle chart. So if I put in Nike, let's put NKE, it should tell me 1 day. See? So that's my custom script. It tells me how many trading days I have until the next earnings. But I want a script. Where would that script go? Like, would it be, are you talking about a column script? Like if I go to Market Watch, one of these custom scripts like this to tell me the date? No, it's the level of thinking which can be adjusted best on the workload. Yeah, I got you. So the resources, the level of thinking on, and I got Google Gemini. So it's, what's the different options they ask you about? What is it? But yeah, I know what you're talking about. But that frustrates me. Like I want it to be, I don't care how simple the question is. I want it to use the best resources as possible. So yeah, it has the 3.1 flashlight. Let me condense this and just bring it up so you can see it. Oh, you should have already seen it. Yeah, it's already up. So you got flash, light, flash all around help, advanced, math mode, thinking level, standard, and then extended. So yeah. And then you if it doesn't, so if you pick the higher one, they limit you to how much you can get even if you're paying for it. So then if it didn't give you the right answer or it didn't calculate it right, now you wasted it. So yeah, it's frustrating to me. But yeah, guys, I appreciate you. I appreciate all the comments. Thank you guys for tuning in and participating. You've been extremely, extremely great encouragement and blessing to me. I've been doing this for 3 or 4 months now. I just looked at how many videos I've done. I'm like I'm over 360 videos now, but I've been streaming consistently since February, 5 nights a week. And now it's 6 nights a week because we're doing Sundays. So every time you guys tune in, watch, like, subscribe, leave a comment, it means the world to me, because this is a lot of mental work to be, you know, committed, especially when you're not monetized yet. So I'm not even monetized yet. So this is a big deal for me to show up regardless of how many views I'm getting, whether or not people enjoying the content and all of that stuff. Let me pull your comment up. Claude Anthropic is much better for coding. Got you. And what I noticed for coding between Google Gemini and ChatGPT, because those are only two I've used, was that ChatGPT was better for me. That's what I actually used to help me write my scripts for Thinkorswim. And then the more I started looking at how they were written, during that time when I was doing it, because I don't remember all of it now, but as I was writing it then, making small changes, seeing how it worked, seeing how it didn't work, and keep learning different sections, I was able to customize it exactly how I wanted to. Plus, a lot of the educators on Twitter with Hagen, they love your content. Man, I appreciate you, J-Rock. I appreciate you, man. Like I said, thank you so much, man. That means the world to me. It really does. Those educators from Charles Schwab, they're on X. They give some of their scripts and stuff away. What's that man's name? Oh, I really like him too. James Boyd, Barbara. It's a few of them. So I watch their content on YouTube as well. So they use the Thinkorswim platform all the time. And they usually are talking about options, like trading vertical options and things like that. YouTube. What can you guys see? I don't know if it's on me or if it's on me. So let me pull that back up, load the content. So YouTube, let's go to YouTube. And let me pull it up. Schwab, James. Come on, James Boyd Schwab. Yeah, here he is. Can I condense that? Let's blow this up so you can see what I'm talking about. Here we go. Bam. And this is another guy I've been checking out to see how he does his content. But yeah, Trader Talks. But that's all James Boyd. But it's different educators, and they're on X. So now I started streaming on X as well. But yeah, this is very educational as well. Very educational. And they're on Twitter. They're on X all the time. So yeah, guys. Yeah. Let's go here. Let's go ahead and wrap it up, man. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you. Let me go ahead and put this back on the screen. Not financial advice. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. You already know. I hope that you learned something, and I hope that you earn something. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. This Sunday, July 5th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, we're reviewing this week's performance of the 11 sectors in the S&P 500 index. Companies that stood out, notable market news, and performing a live Q&A so we can focus on building our community. And make sure you keep tuning in weekdays following a market trading session at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Boyd is the best, man. Got another comment. Let me pull it up before we wrap up. Chat. NLMJR said Boyd is the Boyd. I said Boyle. Boyd is the man. He is. He funny. He has some corny jokes, but they funny because they corny. That's so funny. I'm like, man, that's corny. But yeah, Boyd is funny. He's hilarious to me. I have some of his scripts. Yeah, he give his scripts away all the time. It's like every time he's doing his live stream, somebody in the chat asks, like, where you got that script up? He was like, no problem, just go on X and pull it up and do this and do this. And yeah, he give them away frequently. You go to X and you go right there, he'll have them all listed out and all of that. And that helped me too. Like taking their scripts and opening it up. I don't even know if you let, I'm assuming, and I don't want to insult your intelligence, but I'm just saying, I didn't know. I don't know what you know and what you don't know. So let me show you how I figured out or what I did before I go. So this is what I did. And then this might help somebody that doesn't know. Who knows? So let's go to Think or Swim. So when we go to, and then there's different places you can put scripts. So you can put scripts. Let's go here. Let's go here. Yeah, you can put scripts in columns and you can put them as labels on the charts. So these labels, for instance. So we go up here to the beaker for edit studies. And then here are my different scripts. So that one about earnings with threshold, label earnings, this one right here. If I right click on it and go to edit sources, I believe. Yeah, so here's the code. So once you start seeing the codes like red, you can change the color, red, green, dark gray. They start revealing a pattern and you start seeing how you can build it. You got your inputs, ifs, else, all of those different things. And then like you said, using Claude, using ChatGTP and those different AI tools, you go and you tell it what platform you using. You tell it what you want. Sometimes you get it right. Sometimes you get it wrong. You tell it what color you want. I mean, in my opinion, ignorance is a choice. We got way too many resources out here to figure out how to do whatever it is we want to do. We only limited by our imagination and the effort that we willing to put in to figure something out. So yeah, once I learned how to open that up and look at how you can, these different things work, like every different script has, now you don't click that. We go to edit sources, different things in it to go in there to change it and adjust it. You can add buttons. So like once I learned how to open and create buttons, that's why I have all of these options in my script now. You can add or remove all those different buttons to say yes, no, and all that other good stuff. Whether the market is open or not, all of that. Nice. Got you. I'm about to pull your comments up. So J Rock said nice. Yeah. And watch list too. Yep. Watch list. You can put custom scripts in there. So I think they're useful over here. Like you can put scripts there. No. You said watch list. So you're talking about, well, you can do it there too, like in the columns. If you're talking about watch list, we go up here to market watch tab, then we go to not vid quotes right here. We're on the watch list now. So this is a custom script I have. And let me change this, show you how I got this over here. So if I change this to personal opportunities and then I change this, then you can name the different column sets. So market, price, and volume. So these are some custom scripts that I have made that do different things. But what I don't like about the custom script is the ascending and descending doesn't work properly. So like how we were talking about the market cap, you see how clean that is? When we clicked on that, it's in the right order. You got the largest number at the top, and then as it goes through it, it gets smaller. But on the custom scripts, it doesn't work that way. So if we click ascending and descending, it uses the first number. You see how 9 is the first number? So it has 9% mixed in with 90. And then you got 8 mixed in with, they don't have an 8. But you see my example. So there it is. You see, wait. Okay, 7. You see how you got 7% mixed in with 70. That's the only problem with those scripts. The ascending and descending with numbers doesn't work properly when it comes to putting them in order, because it's putting it in order based off the first number on the left. Yeah, little funky nuances like that. But I appreciate you guys. I wish I could talk all night, but I can't. gotta go to bed. But I appreciate you guys. And I got a few things I need to do before I go to bed too. I'm actually behind. I didn't even know how late it was. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Y'all have an awesome day tomorrow. Good luck in the market. Take care and God bless.